If the government can just do that and not give them the EPWP of cleaning the streets, they must just take them for training as health inspectors, because we've got graduates that are sitting at home. We've got matriculants that are sitting at home, and they can be trained to do that.
Thank you very much.
He was not sick. When he left here, he was fine. He's a flexible child. These children, they took a bath and left together, saying they want to go to the shop. But his mother was refusing to give him money and told him to go and play. But because these kids are friends, they share everything.
Now is to support the families so that they go through this process. But you are right, you must not be short-sighted. You must have permanent solutions.
The police have opened an inquest docket after 5 kids aged between 6 and 9 years old were declared dead at the local clinics on the 6th of October 2024.
Hey, what's up, peeps? Welcome to it, man. It's another episode of the Free Ride Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it, man. Today, I'm a bit concerned about an issue that has been in the public eye for probably the last 2-3 years or so. Which is basically these informal traders, or should I call them sphaza shops, that are owned by foreign nationals, particularly those from Bangladesh, those from India, those from Pakistani, those from you've seen them, Babangweke, Somalians, and all different types of tribes, but they are not South Africans. They are selling rotten stuff, expired goods. Some of them is even fake products, fake chilies, fake grandpas, fake all sorts of stuff. And I mean, just recently there's an issue that broke out in the news that some kids were killed in Soweto. So take a look at the story here. It says police have initiated 5 inquest dockets after 5 children in Naledi, Soweto, died allegedly after eating snacks from a local sphaza shop. The shadow of a similar incident that happened back in 2023 looms large over the community. The death of 5 children in Naledi, Soweto sparked outrage across the community, with some residents calling for the closure of foreign-owned shops in the area. This is the final straw, the community says. This has gone on for far too long. They must leave our area before we start hurting one another, said resident Pindile Lushaba about foreign-owned sphaza shops in the area. Monica Sibetwana, will hear from Mam Pindile Lushaba. Monica Sibetwana Aida Mama, who's 7 years old, Isakho Mabote, who's 8 years old, Karabo Rampo, who's 9, Jabulom Simanga, who is 7, died on Sunday the 6th of October after reportedly eating crisps from a local store that is reportedly owned by a migrant. Police have taken remnants of the snacks for testing and said they are investigating the circumstances surrounding the deaths of to uncover the truth and ensure justice is served. The families of the children have recounted the horrific experience of trying to save their loved ones. Isakho's grandmother, Agnes Mabote, told one of the newspapers of the harrowing events leading up to his death. He ran into the house. His body was shaking, rolling his eyes. He started vomiting. He complained about his stomach. He said he and his friends had eaten chips known as brown dash. Brown dash. He had some remnants in his back pocket. Despite his grandmother rushing him to Begimlangeni Hospital, the child was declared dead. Can you imagine? I mean, as a father, as a mother, can you imagine? It drop order because of the food that is poisoned, or even rotten, or even expired, or even fake. According to a Naledi police report, 2 of the children, Aida and Jabula, died while receiving treatment at a local clinic. Isakho and Karabo died while being treated by a doctor, and Monica died on arrival at the clinic. Another 7-year-old child is reportedly being treated at a hospital. The police said the children had been playing together and bought snacks at a sphaza shop on Maratwe Street, the owner which was known only as Daniel. Detective Sergeant Baholo and Sergeant Ngumalo proceeded to the shop to confiscate those alleged snacks, they said. Johannesburg Health and Social Development MMC Enima Kafula has said the store had been inspected in August and found to be compliant with relevant regulations. Following the deaths of residents forced the number of shops to close, supported by anti-foreigner group Operation Dudula, which called for the closure of foreign-owned shops across Soweto. So, I don't know, peeps. We have given foreigners and foreign nationals carte blanche to our country. We've given them space in our homes. We've given them space in our yards. Got informal settlements. They've taken sphaza, existing shops, they've turned them into these illegal shops that are selling some rotten stuff. Not all of them. Some of them are selling rotten stuff. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do when we are just letting our spaces to foreign nationals and they are producing some of these fake goods? I mean, take a listen to this. Firstly, listen to Makoko, who lost sadly her child, and this is what she had to say.
He was not sick. When he left here, he was fine. He's a flexible child. These children, they took a bath and left together, saying they want to go to the shop. But his mother was refusing to give him money and told him to go and play. But because these kids are friends, they share everything. They share the snacks amongst themselves, not knowing they are eating poison.
So you've heard from Memokholo, and I want you to take a listen to perhaps one of the residents who's angry, who's been making noise about this whole thing. And of course, one of the residents who are pushing to make sure that these puzzle shops are shut down in Naledi. Take a listen to this.
Approximately, we have about 15 to close today. But to date, already 3 have packed already. And we don't know about the others. We are now on the 4th one. The 2 packed already last night. What we did last night was we went on each and every shop. We spoke to the landlord, we spoke to the owner, and we told them that please, because of what happened, and we do not even have the answers already, we need you to pack and go. That is the decision that's been taken by the whole community, by the way, of Naledi Extension. So now what happened is we went to each and every sphaza. We spoke to the landlord and the owner, and they all agreed that within an hour, they will leave. But when we came back, we said, let us give them the whole night so that they can pack because they've got a lot of stock. But what happened was this morning at 7 o'clock, somebody called and said 2 shops already are trading. And we went and we checked and we found shops that are trading. So we really want them to move. We do not want to loot. That is very important. Naledi Extension community members don't loot. We are not hooligans. We are not thieves. We just want them to loot, take their things, and leave Naledi Extension in peace.
And is there a particular reason why you're choosing these shops specifically to close?
If you know, with all the Pakistani shop, these people sleep in their shops. They trade in their shops. They do everything in the shops. So there's a possibility that food can get contaminated. That is the biggest possibility. And the government and the health department, they are not checking the shops. Because if they were definitely checking the shops and making sure that these shops every month at least samples are taken from the shops to be tested, then we shouldn't be having this. This is actually it's a pandemic, because we cannot have 5 kids dying at the same time from one sphaza shop. And remember, last year we were having this very same interview with the 3 kids that were poisoned and 2 died. So this time it's going to be different. And that's what last year we just said to them, close. But now we are saying, pack your things and go. We do not want anything from them. Yes.
And a little earlier on, we saw obviously the low tension between the community and the shops that were still trading, as you explained, but they gave them a chance to then leave. Can we expect that the gentleman that's here also is going to be given the chance?
Yes, hence we are here. We want to give them a chance. We've been speaking to the owner, and he said the truck is now in Mayfair, and he will be here in 30 minutes' time. His 30 minutes will expire in 15 minutes, at 1:30. So we are waiting for him. So we are going to make sure that the whole Ward 120, it's clean before the funeral of these kids. We do not want, it's actually a very good, it's a lesson, it's a bad lesson. But what we want is, if they move and they leave their container, this is where now government must step in. They must train, they must have workshops, they must teach people how to run and own sphaza shop and manage their financials. This is our next step. But our phase one is they must just move. That is phase one. This is one thing that I spoke about last year. I don't know if there's still clips of what I think it was Power FM. What I said was, this is a chance for our government. Rather than giving our kids a 6 months position of work and go work at the EPWP, take graduates, take matriculants, go train them as health inspectors. You will get a lot of people, a lot of health inspectors, and then bring them back and give them that stipend, because then it will be now a permanent job. Then they can go and inspect those spazas. That is the main thing. If the government can just do that and not give them the EPWP of cleaning the streets, they must just take them for training as health inspectors, because we've got graduates that are sitting at home, we've got matriculants that are sitting at home, and they can be trained to do that.
So what is government doing? We need to look at all these regulations, because I don't know, as a part-time entrepreneur, small business owner, small hustler, and I know so many of you who are small business owners, who are hustlers, how difficult it is to be compliant in this country. Just to get a lease for a piece of land, for a shop, for a space, it's very difficult. How easy it is for foreign nationals to just acquire these spaces out of nowhere. And how difficult it is for you as a small business owner to be compliant with tax issues, unemployment issues. When you employ people, you need to declare to the labor laws. You need to make sure that you are compliant. But these shops, they carry on. These foreign-owned shops, they carry on as if they don't comply to the unemployment issues. They don't comply to the SARS, they don't comply with paying rates, services, taxes. They don't pay personal income tax. They don't pay VAT. They don't even charge VAT. So what are these people doing? What are we doing as a country? Anyway, has the leadership who are in charge of these departments that are supposed to overlook the sphaza shops, these buildings and so on, have they responded? Anyway, take a listen to what the MMC had to say.
What is it going to take for you as government to realize that this is a crisis that requires urgent attention and plans to resolve?
The issue has already got our full attention since last year with the first incident, and currently we have been doing inspection ongoing without any stop. We have established what we call a blitz program in the department. We have partnered with the MPD, the SEPS, development planning, because they are the ones who do the inspections of the premises. So it's an ongoing thing. We gave it the utmost attention, and we currently going on with it.
Okay, and what have you discovered and found from that multifaceted approach that you have with the other stakeholders, including the JMPD? Because often what we see is children die, and when children die, then we hear of what they allegedly ate before they died, and then government officials then rush to the scene, and then the police come and say there's going to be an investigation, and then community members are up in arms because they don't trust the very same shops that are selling them foods, because they think maybe there is counterfeit food. What have you found so far that is actually resolving the situation that we're finding ourselves in?
What we found that is actually resolving the situation was to engage with the communities. We have been doing ongoing campaigns which we were educating the communities on what to look on to, especially with regards to the food products, your expiry date, the hygiene, the overall hygiene of the shops that they actually purchase. And the biggest problem was the issue of rental. We understand that our residents, they rent out these shops to different people. Some of them even rent their trading license, which is the COA, which is one of the issues that we currently have. So we have engaged, especially with the councillors. Remember, the councillor of each and every ward is a representative in that area. We took it with them, and we currently ongoing with educating the communities the importance also of dealing with roads. We must understand that even in households, we currently use chemicals that deals with your rats and all that. So we need to use those with cautious so that we protect the lives and the livelihoods of our children. So communities, we are educating that. It's one of the things that we do when we have campaigns in the environmental health department. Our inspectors go and do the inspections only to find out some of even the community members are the ones who lock the door or even warn the people who are renting out the sphaza shops to say they are on the way. Often we find the shops closed, but you hear from the community to say, 5 minutes ago the shop was open, but they knew you were coming, so they closed the shop so that you can't get access. We often have to force ourselves into these sphaza shops for us to do inspections. So we are urging the community to also come on board and help us cap these situations, because I believe that if we put the community in the front, as the people who are residing in the areas, we can be able to solve it. So we're not saying we are not doing our part, we are doing our part, but we are also urging the community to also play their part in helping us to cap the situation. That we got or were reported to us, it's this one. We might maybe remember that last year in the same ward we had 3 other deaths, the same children, same age. So far, the ones that were reported in similar situations, it's just this 5 this year.
Where are the health inspectors, and what are they actually finding when they do the inspections? Because they're supposed to check out these food premises to ensure that people who handle food follow the safety protocols. They must ensure that there's good hygiene, that the products are labeled well. So their responsibility is to safeguard consumers from counterfeit food. How often do they do these inspections, and what do they find? If the inspections have been done and people are not being arrested, shops are not being closed, is it then safe to say that from all the inspections that have been done by these inspectors, everything has been fine? The shops have actually ticked all the boxes.
Thank you. So our inspectors, our health inspectors are found in our CCC offices, which are health department offices in every region in the city of Johannesburg. So yes, the inspections have been done. Like I'm saying, when we do inspection as the health inspectors or the people responsible for inspection, their role is to come and perform the overall inspection and check if really the shops do comply with the regulations. If they don't comply, they either can issue a notice or a fine. If it comes to a point that the shop should be closed, we also involve the JMPD or SEPs, because they are the one who have to enforce bylaws. Ourselves, you can't, as an inspector, you can't close a shop, but you need to have someone from the law enforcement to actually enforce those bylaws for us. That's why we're saying normally when we do our business, to also first in place as well, because we also check the legality of the people who are running these sphaza shops, whether they are here in the country legally or not. So if we go on please also involve those. So when the health inspectors find that a shop is not compliant, we issue a notice. In case it's just minor things like maybe we need to put a window inside the premises, we then advise to say you need to put a window to allow ventilation of air within the premises. If they have to remove some of the things or pack them in a certain way, we advise on that. But should it come to the closing, then we do involve JMPD especially to help us with that on enforcing.
Our approach now
So
is to
the
support the
Department of
families so that they go through this process. But you are right, you must not be short-sighted. You must have permanent solutions. And to have permanent solutions, you must come and meet with the community, because I don't want to think on behalf of the community. The community must express their views without fear or favor on what they need to happen. And then I'll come here after the funeral to meet with the community and attend to those issues, including to give report back on the previous cases that have been there, so that we now give support to the affected families, because they need our support and they need to know what will happen.
The police have opened an inquest docket after 5 kids aged between 6 and 9 years old were declared dead at the local clinics on the 6th of October 2024. The circumstances that led to the death are unknown at this stage as police investigation continues.
So, as parents, as batbagro te batba lengore bana le bana, we are caring citizens, ke kopa re tlhokomeleng bana ba rona. Let's make sure that you don't buy from these shops. Boycott them as much as possible. I know it's not easy. I mean, I try my very level best not to buy these Pakistani shops. I end up buying stuff, and I buy stuff that I know that I'm not gonna consume by mouth, sadly. And that's if when the regular shops are closed and I have no option and I buy there, but I don't buy things I need to consume. But also, that's not a positive thing to say or do. I should boycott, and so should you. Anyway, this is how we do it on the Free Ride podcast. I thought I should address that matter because I will talk about another matter at a later stage that concerns politics. But for now, this is how I'm signing out. Thank you very much. Ita.